Well, I am joined by the very beautiful and very lovely Georgia Harrison. Hi, Georgia.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you for asking. Now, Georgia's come back from Ibiza, so, you know, she's had a few nice days, and so we're now going to be talking about skincare.
Yeah.
So, Georgia, tell us a little bit, I'm sure everyone knows, but tell us a little bit about you and how you came to find Time Clinic.
So I'm most well known for being a reality TV star. And my skin is something I really have suffered with like over my whole life. For quite a long time I had acne and I managed to get on top of that. But then I was getting really bad like dermatitis sort of down my face here. And I originally actually heard of Obagi through, I think, other friends. They've been getting pills and I had 1 or 2 pills years and years ago, but I just knew that it was a good brand. Everyone was absolutely raging about it. So I actually got in touch with Obagi and they told me like a few clinics that do like actually supply it. And one of them was the Time Clinic, and I've been going to the David Lloyd gym for years, since I was about, 12. So I'd actually heard.
So you heard that we were here, right? Okay.
I'd heard really good reviews from people that would always be like, oh, there's that amazing skincare.
Yeah. It's true. We are amazing. Yeah.
So I knew it was good anyway. So out of the list that they sent me, it made sense to come here. And that's how I ended up joining up with the Time Clinic.
Oh, I love a good story like that. So tell me, so it's interesting you say about you were getting issues before. So you found that other skincare items or creams or whatever, actually they might sort out the problem but then leave you with other issues, right?
Yeah, so it would just be always fluctuating issues, but there was never really a long period of time where I managed to get on top of my skincare. I also think a lot of that is if you've not got like a set regime where you're seeing some like someone like the Time Clinic, like Dr. Manav, and you're using one like product, like one brand, you just tend to buy all different things, you know what I mean? Like I'd have one really expensive like moisturizer, and then I would have a random toner. I'd have all these random products that people had suggested. And when you're going down that route, you actually don't know what's helping, you don't know what's the problem. You're just literally like throwing things into thin air and hoping something works.
Yeah, and you always go by what people are talking about, the next best thing, and then you try something different and it becomes a whole mishmash of everything and it doesn't actually do anything. So when you heard about Obagi, what was the things that you were hearing?
So I was just hearing that it's just an absolute revolution in skincare. And then like anyone I knew who was getting Obagi, like using their products, had absolutely perfect skin. And I was also aware that for those with like severely bad skin, the pills were just completely changing everything for them.
Right, okay, yeah, I mean it does. That's exactly how I find it, same sort of thing. So, okay, so you found Time Clinic, and what was your first experience? What did you think when you first saw Dr. Manav?
Well, I thought first of all he was really lovely, like very easy to speak to, like just a lovely man in general. And then I was just really impressed with how they handled my consultation. Like it wasn't just like in and out, like I got put into a machine which actually could get to the bottom of what my main problems were with my skincare.
So interesting, when you're talking about the machine, what did you think when you saw, because I remember when I had that done, what did you think when you first saw the pictures and had realizations of what's going on in your skin? What was your thoughts?
I just thought it was really impressive. Like the things that I knew that I struggled with were very clearly highlighted on the machine. And, you know, for some of it, I felt a bit better because he told me like my UV damage wasn't too bad. And like I am someone that goes on a lot of holidays.
Right.
So
and you like the sun, right? Okay, yeah.
My main issue when I first came in was the redness that was sort of down here.
Okay.
And you could very clearly see on the machine that it was just very red, very inflamed.
Did he say why that was?
We think it's like a mix of things. One, I used to suffer with psoriasis as a kid, so I do get dry skin, but I'd also been going through quite a tough period in my life, and I've been crying a lot. So like, rather depressingly, like my tears were sort of like falling down there, and it was obviously causing a lot of dryness, and it just needed some help.
I imagine the stress as well. If you're stressed or you are under it for a long time, and imagine with your career, obviously there's going to be a lot of pressure as well.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that well, it does affect the skin.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing about Obagi is obviously it's giving you that aesthetic result, but it's also battling doing, even when you are stressed? Have you found that even if you are having a bad time and you're doing a lot, maybe you're really tired, you're stressed, it still keeps your skin looking good?
I mean, yeah, look, I've just got back from Ibiza. I've not got a spot on my face. Like, back in the day, if I would go to Ibiza for like a few days, you know, drinking more alcohol than usual, you're in the sun, you're not sleeping as much as one should, I would always have a breakout, especially in that area. And because I'm like keeping up with my skincare regime whilst I'm there, obviously I'm getting completely different results than I have my entire life.
So with the Obagi and all of the steps, so how did you find that? Did you find it quite a long-winded thing, especially the fact that you're very busy and you just want to do your thing, get out? How did you find that at the beginning? Did you get used to it? Or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's something you have to get used to. I've always been someone that's like cleansed, toned and moisturised anyway. So I have some form of a skincare routine, and I don't know, it was nice just to have everything set out, what order you use it.
Yeah, I love that.
You, numbered, like Dr. Manav was very clear about how to use everything. He went through each one. He even showed me like how to apply it, how much to use each time. So look, it is a bit of a commitment, but it's a commitment to one of the most important things, which is the skin on your face. You know?
And I think once you start seeing the results, it becomes nothing. It's so worth it, isn't it?
Oh yeah, like literally, I wouldn't go anywhere without it. Like honestly, I would go to my ex-boyfriend's house with like, I would never turn up with anything smaller than like a bag this big, because I'm like, I need my makeup and I need my skincare.
Yeah, need my Obagi. So when did you start noticing changes? Because it takes some time, right?
I mean, yeah, but I think we actually had quite quick results. I think within like a couple of months, we came back in and my redness was going down like after a couple of weeks. And you could see very clearly on the machine that I'd had like very quick results. So
really good.
I think like in terms of, at first I was a little bit dry. So in terms of getting the glow that I've got now, that took a little while.
Yeah.
But in terms of treating the actual issue that I first came in for, that was very, very quick, like a matter of weeks.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. So in regards to your career, obviously, you're always being analysed, you're always being looked at. You know that you have to sort of, you know, always put your best foot forward and present yourself in the best way possible all the time. How does that pressure add to your, like when it comes to skincare? Do you think about it a lot more than you used to? Or have you always been sort of concerned about it? Or is it something that you always have to think about and make sure it's on point?
I mean, I think it's something that I first had to start bearing in mind because it was bad. I think that's why I first started worrying about my skin. But then like when you are doing the job I'm doing, you know, we aren't just like doing photo shoots where you can edit stuff and things like that. And I do think like looking after my skin is a priority, because if I'm doing jobs where I'm on camera and things like that, you know, the industry is not going to judge me. They're not going to sack me because I've come in with a few spots, but I'm just not going to feel the best version of myself. So I think having my skincare on point really does elevate the way that I portray myself. So,
yeah, no, that's a good point. And also, I suppose it's very reality based now. You're on Instagram, you're on YouTube and all those sort of things. And you're not always going to be seen with a full face of makeup. So skin is even more important, right? And so taking care of it. So what unexpected results did you get from Obagi? Was there things that you never expected that you did get?
I just think in general, like I barely ever get a spot now. Like my skin's just always glowing, and I get so many compliments from like friends, family. Like there's not like a week that goes by that someone doesn't say to me like, your skin is
your skin is lovely. I can see it. It's lovely. Yeah, it's flawless. Yeah, it's beautiful and very smooth, very toned. It's, you know.
Yeah, and I never imagined that I would actually have skin where I could go like wherever I wanted without makeup, and I would still be getting compliments on like how my skin looks. And like you said, it can be a very like, you're chasing your tail a bit when your skin is bad. You don't want to be wearing makeup because that's going to make it a lot worse. And like it just ends up like you're in a spiral of like having to wear makeup all the time to cover over the spots and the rash, and the rash and the spots getting worse. And like it really did pull me out of that.
No, that's really good. So you must have seen other practitioners before you came to Time Clinic.
Yeah.
You know, just a variety of different reasons or whatever. What was the difference, do you think, with Dr. Manav and Time Clinic compared to the others?
I don't think I've just ever seen anyone that concentrated so much on my skin completely, and also not so much just guessing, someone that actually got to the root of the problem. I've never walked into a like clinic before and been put through a machine that's really just going to get to the bottom right there and then of what's going wrong with me. And I also feel like with Dr. Manav, like if I was ever like unsure about something, or I was like, you know, my skin might be a bit dry, or am I using this product correctly? I could always just contact him, and he was very easily always on the other side of the phone. It's like I didn't have to book in an opinion to find out about something that honestly I needed to know on the day. Like, he was always very responsive.
I was going to ask you about that, because they're always on hand, aren't they? And if you have a question about anything, it's never a bad time, and he always has time for you. I think that's the difference when I've seen other practitioners. It really makes you feel comfortable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So would you say you're always supported by them, basically?
I feel very supported by them.
Yeah, well, that's nice. So some people don't know about the facials that you can have with Obagi. Tell us about those, because I'm yet to have those. So what's nice about that, and how does that process work?
They're just amazing. So they put on the skin peel, and you get like a little tingle, and like I think some people when they get skin peels are really nervous, like, oh my god, is it gonna hurt? Like, for me, it just, honestly, I just really enjoy it, to be honest. You get a bit of a tingle, and then your skin will like peel after a couple of days. So when I've had peels before, I've actually gone out that day and been fine with like still wearing.
I was going to say, have you had any before you've done like a proper, like a big event or whatever, you're seen straight away the next day or that evening?
Yeah, so Dr. Manav will tailor it depending on what I have to do. So like if he knows I'm going to an event that night, he'll do it slightly different to just a skin peel. He'll make it like rejuvenating. Okay. But if I'm going to have a proper skin peel where I really want to get like deep into the layers, he'll be like, look, you're not going in the sun for the next couple of weeks, are you? Are you happy to have like a few down days after the peel? So I always make sure that I've got a bit of time. But yeah, I've never been like too worried about my appearance after them. And then after a few days, once the skin peels, you just look like completely glowing. Like a baby's bum on your face.
I love that. That's good. I might try that.
Yeah, I couldn't suggest them more. Like, they are just, I just think they're like brilliant.
So the mission in life is to have a baby's bum on your face. Love that. The smoothest of skin.
Yeah.
So if you were talking to friends, family, whoever, and they're worried about coming to somewhere like Time Clinic, or they're worried about having certain facials or whatever done, what would you say to encourage them and make them feel at ease?
I just tell them that my experience has been brilliant. Like, honestly, I was saying to my mum earlier, my mum's going to be booking in soon. She was like, when you go down there today, tell Dr. Manav.
Oh, yes, because you're very close to your mum, aren't you? Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, right, yeah.
Day, but like, I think like almost anyone that I've spoke to about my experience is pretty keen to come down here, and like they can see that my skin's good, and I always reassure them that they just feel so comfortable when they're here, and I've got absolute confidence that anyone that I suggest to come here will have a good experience, and it's not often you feel like that about anywhere.
Yeah, there's always a little bit, there's maybe a few skeptic, points of maybe, oh, I'm not too sure, but you're completely happy. I'm the same. You could recommend anyone, and they're going to be comfortable.
Yeah, and it's like if I'm recommending something to someone, especially when they're going to come down and they're going to spend their money and they want to get results, I will never recommend something that was mediocre, okay, or just because I like them. I will only recommend it if I really think it's amazing. And I do think that Obagi and the Time Clinic are quite frankly life-changing, and they have changed my life in terms of my skincare and my confidence. So
but it's safe to say that you'll be here for a while.
Yeah.
For a while. Well, thank you so much, George.